Hey, morning, my construction entrepreneurs. Tyrone Jones here. Hey, on this one here, I want to touch on something that's it's dear to my heart, right? It's not sad or anything, but it's a very real thing. It's a very serious thing, and it can lead to breakups and divorces and all this. And it's communication. And it's mainly communication with your spouse. Now, a lot of us out here as entrepreneurs, in the beginning, we're running around like a chicken with our head cut off. And I was just listening to a podcast, and it brought me back to thinking back in the day. Back in the day, before I actually was able to hone my experience and kind of drive in and know how to control this entrepreneur spirit in me, right? I didn't know how to control it. I knew it was there, and I was excited that it was there, and I jumped on everything. And some of you out there know, especially the new entrepreneurs, we jump on everything that's making us money. Everything. I had a carpet cleaning company before. We had a warehouse where we did parties. I had I have sold, what else I sold? I've sold fire protection stuff, fire retardant stuff that goes above hoods, and you spray it on furniture. Oh my gosh. I and it's been little stuff too. I didn't try to sell rocks before. This is as an adult, right? This is not as a kid. Like I'm looking for ways to make money. At the same time, I'm still in construction, but I'm jumping all over the place and not staying focused and steady with anything. I'm just trying to make a living. I'm trying to jump to the next thing that makes money. Now, this was the issue, right? So everybody knows I'm in my second marriage, right? During my first marriage, I have two of my older kids come from that marriage. My 14-year-old and my 11-year-old, which she's getting ready to be 12, came from that marriage. And during that time, during my first marriage, I never communicated my goals, my plans, what I really wanted to do. I think I was really confusing a lot of that stuff. I just wanted to make money, and I was a hard worker. And I never communicated that with my wife at the time. And you got to also understand with your spouse. If your spouse has grew up watching their parents, his or her parents, work 9 to 5s, hold down a career and a job, then also too, your spouse holds down a 9 to 5, and here you are out there with a chicken with your head cut off. That's very unstable to them. That's uncertainty, right? You may bring home a boatload of cash this week, but the next 3 weeks, you're struggling like, I was supposed to make 300, but I only brought home 100, and I actually need 50 of that for gas, right? So that type of person is freaking out, right? My ex was freaking out watching that. Her parents, 9 to 5, still 9 to 5s, still holding down careers. She has a 9 to 5, holding down the career, and here it is. I'm the black sheep. Like I'm out. Well, hey, what is Tyrone doing? Oh, he's selling paper. What kind of paper? I think paper that he's finding somewhere, and he's reselling it for like $2 for 100 sheets. What? He's selling. So it just got crazy, and I look back now. Of course, when I was in it then, I didn't really understand it. I didn't really see what the problem was. But now I can, sit back and talk about this, that, having a spouse that has grown up knowing 9 to 5s, and now with an entrepreneur that don't do 9 to 5 or partially do 9 to 5, because I've had jobs before, right? And done side work. But then, you could tell during that time, as I look back, my ex was cringing as I scooted away from that 9 to 5 and went on to that next shiny object, right? And I'll just be on some other stuff, man. And before you know it, we'll be back struggling again instead of having money and being comfortable. But that resulted from me not talking about what's going on, not talking about my goals, not having a clear understanding on what I am really trying to do and where I'm really trying to go. And then that person, right, my ex, that spouse of yours, helping you hone that. Now, sometimes they're not able to help you hone that. But, I think with that person really not knowing where I'm trying to go and where I'm trying to get to, a lot of times verbally they may abuse you, right? They may say things that may stump your confidence. They may say things that may hold you back from doing what you need and what you really want to do, But a lot of times they say that because they don't know. We don't even know sometimes as entrepreneurs. I know me during that time, I was just trying to make money. I was just really just trying to stay busy and really just trying to take care of my family. But at the same time, it was making my wife at that time so nervous, right? So insecure, so didn't have no confidence in what I can do, right? And that came out in different ways with her. And then also too, now there's so many dynamics with this, right? Because as an entrepreneur, we need that motivation, right? Some of us would like to be motivated by words, verbal. Hey, you're doing a good job. Go out there and go get them. You're going to kill it. Knock it out the park. You got what it takes. We need to hear that. We need that attaboy, that slap on the back, that pat on the ass. Just get out there and go do it. Go knock them down. They're not ready for you. But at the same time, we don't know how to explain that to our spouse so they get it, so we won't have to tell them that. Because if we tell them that they need to say that, sometimes we feel like it doesn't mean the same when we got to tell you what to say to encourage us, right? But it works out. As long as you're with someone that's compatible with you and you explain that to them, then it's genuine, right? It works out. But during that time, I had to do a lot of self-motivation, a lot of talking to myself, a lot of, and I remember during that time, I wasn't on personal development. I'm on personal development every day now, right? Because I need it. And there's a lot of you out there that don't know about it and that shine away from it and could use it. So you need to jump on it. Whether that's Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas, Grant Cardone, if you like it a little rough and straight to the cut. Sometimes I listen to my boy Grant, but I'm at a certain level when I listen to Grant. And then Gary V, you get all those people in. Zig Ziglar, you go back old school, Jim Rohn, funny dude. You just go back and these things help you. Especially once you start getting to these different levels in this entrepreneur journey, and you'll start realizing you're giving out a lot, and that helps. That self-motivation helps you get that stuff back in and continue to push you forward. But I had to do a lot of self-motivation during that time because I didn't get the motivation from my spouse. I didn't get it, and I didn't think it was ever going to come. And I didn't have a aha moment like I knew why it wasn't coming. I just thought that person just couldn't give it to me, and I had to do it myself. And it was tough for me during that time, as well as me putting a strain on her, right? That's tough to watch someone go through something that you're not comfortable with, that you don't fully understand why are you doing that when you go get a regular job? You're talented, you're smart, you're doing all this over this and you're wasting it. And that's how that person sees it, right? So they express it in different ways, and the way they express it, because they don't realize what journey you're on, the way they express it is hurtful to me. It's hurtful to us as entrepreneurs. Why? But once again, we're not explaining it. We're not breaking it down. We're not talking through it. And then it's not just talking through it at one sitting and giving them a mouthful, right? It's a talking through it over time. Like now, since I learned so much from my first marriage, I was able to apply the things that I need to apply for my second marriage and help my wife understand who I am, where I'm going, and also to it helped. By then I was able to more hone what I was doing. I made a decision to stay in concrete. Right now I'm in different things now, but during that time I said, I'm gonna stay in concrete, and then I'm gonna let that kind of branch off into different things. Because with concrete you could get into equipment, right? You can get into just form setting, just pouring. You can get into doing traffic control. Depending on what sector of work you're in, it could branch off into these different things. And I needed to allow it to branch off naturally, organically. And that's what I did. As my maturity level gained in this entrepreneur journey and in business, then it started branching off into these other things. And then I knew how to, at that time as it branched off, I knew how to give as much time as I could without taking away from the main. So, but it took me a long time to get there. And I hope this talk helps some of you out there on your entrepreneur journey, especially if you're new at it, or if you've been kind of hitting a loop and not getting out there to the next level. Hopefully this can actually help you hone something and get to the next level. Talk to your spouse, really chat, sit down and talk often. And really share where you're going, what your goals is, where you want to be at, why you feel you're not there, and listen to what they have to say. And also let them know that, hey, sometimes I need to be encouraged. Sometimes I don't feel like getting up. Sometimes I need you to pat me on the ass and say, hey, get out there and go get them, Tiger. Sometimes I need you to tell me that I'm doing a good job, because no one else is going to tell you this in this lifestyle. No one else is going to pat you on the back. Okay, you're going to do more patting on the back than people patting you on the back, straight up. But you need to tell your spouse that sometimes I need that. I don't need it all the time, but sometimes I need it. Sometimes I need that picker-upper. Sometimes I need that, hey, let me take you over here to this hotel, do a staycation to get you out of something. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of get your mind going in different areas. Let me take you to the beach. Let me take you to this cool park that I saw and kind of open your mind. And, us as entrepreneurs, we like stuff like that. We like to breathe and to think on a different level and to get to be in a place where we can think differently. Where we can gather our thoughts, and that's why I go on walks, right? But you need to share that with your spouse. You need to let them know how they need to treat you as an entrepreneur. And you need to also let your spouse know that their words are powerful, so they don't abuse it. So they are careful with how they address you when it comes to your entrepreneur journey. It's very important, because your spouse's words are powerful during this journey, especially in the beginning. Very powerful. A spouse don't understand that their words can actually shift an entrepreneur, especially if that entrepreneur is not confident and strong in their spirit. Right? And that entrepreneur spirit, they're not strong. It takes time to get strong and kind of hone it and know where you're going. And in the beginning, you're fragile in it. And if people, too many negative things, it'll crack us in certain areas and may take some time to repair. And it'll crack us in certain areas where it never gets repaired. So you got to explain to your spouse what it means to be on an entrepreneur journey. What it means to be, jumping from things to things. And why do we jump? I'm jumping because I'm trying to make money for my family, right? Because this is not working, or I'm not giving this enough time, and I know I'm not giving this enough time, and I'm not staying focused. But I'm not staying focused because I know I'm not making money, and I know this can make me a quick buck. But when I go over here and make this quick buck because I need to feed us, then I'm backtracking over here where I really need to be at. And you need to explain that. You know, you need to, like I said, not give that person a mouthful all in one setting, but you need to explain that over time. But at the same time, as entrepreneurs, we need to stay at it, right? We need to not be starting and then stopping and going back. You need to continue to move forward. You need to move forward like a Mack truck. You need to move forward like a train with no brakes. You need to continue to move forward because you don't want to lose the confidence of the people around you. Like, oh yeah, he started that, but then he stopped. Like you stopped altogether, not like he started that, just started this, just started that, just started that. So that's different, right? Still chaos. But starting this and then stopping, right? And then trying to start something else and then stopping and then start some, you gotta just go, and that comes with confidence too. You're still an entrepreneur. I still see you as an entrepreneur if you start. This is a lot more chaotic than starting this. You don't want to start, right? Because the people around you is not going to have confidence in the next thing you start. So you want to continue to move forward, and continue to talk to your spouse and share it with her or him, make sure you get it out and talk often, and let them know, this is my desire. This is what I want to do. And I may not be great at it right now, but I will get great at it. And we got to just stay with it, and we got to also let them know, like, hey, sometimes I waver off. Sometimes I don't want to get up. That's one of the bigger things when we go from that 9 to 5 to fully doing an entrepreneur lifestyle. Sometimes we lose that structure. See, that 9 to 5 gives us a structure. We have to show up at a certain time. You got to dress a certain way. You got to act accordingly. And then when we get out of that structure, the first thing go out the window is just getting up on time, showing up on time, dress a certain way, having that proper attitude. Those things kind of go out the window because that structure is gone. So you want to keep that structure there. Stay with that structure. Keep it with yourself. Make it mandatory. And that way you can continue to strive. But get your spouse on the same page as you. Like right now, I'm about to let you go. I'm getting into, almost, 18 minutes with this. But right now, I'm rarely home, right? Everybody don't see my full day. I wish I could do my full day. And you will see, I leave the house early. I leave the house before. The twins live with me. The older kids come and see me Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays, right? But like my twins don't see me, right? My wife don't see me. I'm gone in the morning and then I'm back when people are asleep. And that's just the way it is. Maybe one day of the week, I'm home doing baths. Certain videos, you guys see me, I'm home. I did baths, gave the twins baths. I try to be there when the older kids are there because all the kids are there. And I try to divide up my time and spend it with everybody. But other than that, I'm rarely home. But I'm rarely home and I'm comfortable with that because my wife is also comfortable with that. Right? And I'm rarely home because my goals come before everything. My goals and dreams come before everything. If I'm not going for my goals and dreams, then I can't give them my all. So, and my wife understands that. So, having that understanding with my wife is like, it's so valuable. Now I'm able to, get out here, do my thing, and still make sure things are being taken care of at home, right? Whatever they need because I'm not there. And then also make sure I'm there when I need to be there. But other than that, I'm rarely there because I'm putting it in. And she understands that. And also, too, the good thing about this is a one-off, right? That my wife loves her alone time, too. So she's home alone a lot. And as I'm touching on this, I need to make sure I touch back on my wife to where we do a video together where she's on here and she talks about her side of being with an entrepreneur. So let me know if you guys want to see that, because that would encourage her to do a video with me. seeing her side of things and hearing from her side, her point of view of how it is being an entrepreneur, the good and the bad, the pros and cons. Just get it out. You know what I'm saying? And we'll do a video together, and hopefully you guys can gain from that and then utilize that and not have to go through some of the things that I went through, or even a divorce or split up or breakup or heartache, or just hearing verbal abuse when someone doesn't even know they're giving you verbal abuse because you're in your entrepreneur journey. So I'm gonna let you go with that, my construction entrepreneurs. That was dear to heart. Wanted to get that out. Remember, hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one.